Honored to be joined by Governor Bobby Jindal of the beautiful state of Louisiana. Good to see you, sir.
Great to see you again. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Governor. Listen, so you are famous for being one of the governors who pushes back from Washington, and Washington is pushing back so much stuff. Just today, as we tape this on Thursday, net neutrality. These rules and regulations that are passed by bureaucrats, people who weren't elected. What does the average Louisianan and what does the average American need to do to push back and say, Washington, leave us alone?
Well, first of all, on net neutrality, and you're right, and the president's also trying through executive order to violate, again, our Second Amendment rights. You know, I guess it shouldn't be a big surprise that the Constitution to him is just an advisory opinion. He does whatever he wants. On net neutrality, you've got FCC, first of all, taking direction from the White House, even though they're supposed to be independent. Secondly, this is an intrusion on freedom of speech. And third, threatens what has made the internet so successful. It's been the light touch, it's been the freedom from government taxation and regulation. We don't need a heavy-handed Washington, D.C. approach. They promised, the regulators have said, look, we know we have a lot of power, but trust us, we're not going to use it. Yeah, well, good luck with that. This administration has abused the power they have, even abused power they don't rightfully have. A couple of things we can do to get rid of these rules. I know there'll be court challenges. The last time they tried to do this, they were unsuccessful in court. I think Congress needs to stand up to them. I know there's an investigation in terms of the influence they got from the White House, but third, they just need to repeal these burdensome rules. We don't need the government interfering with freedom of speech. We don't need them interfering with the internet. This should concern average Americans all over this country. We've seen this White House use executive power in unimaginable ways. Whether it was Fast and Furious, guns going to Mexican drug cartels, whether it was the spying on AP reporters at the Department of Justice, whether it was the IRS going after conservative groups. So we are rightfully concerned this federal government's getting too large, too intrusive, too involved in our lives.
One more question. I know you're busy. I don't want to play the 2016 game. Let's just magic wand. You're President Jindal. What would you do about ISIS? It is such an existential threat, I think, to the world and especially to America, which I don't think this president will ever say. What would President Jindal do about ISIS right now?
Look, you're exactly right. He won't say the term radical Islamic terrorism, yet he warns us about medieval Christianity, about crusades. This is ridiculous. You got an administration telling us we need a job program. We're not at war, instead of saying we are at war with radical Islam. The Congress needs to amend the authorization of use of military force, take out the 3-year deadline, take out the ban on ground troops. Our military planners, whether we're using ground troops right now or not, our military planners need to take the political handcuffs off. They need to be given the ability. We need to take the political handcuffs off them. They need to have the ability to prosecute and win this war. And that means hunting them down and killing them. So in Kobani, we used airstrikes. Kurdish were on the ground. Kurdish troops, we need to arm the Kurds. If we show the Turkish government, we show our Turkish allies, we are committed to removing Assad. Right now, they're worried that if they take on ISIS on the ground in Syria, that strengthens Assad, that strengthens Iran, because presumably this president wants to deal so badly with Iran. He has backed off getting rid of Assad. Let's tell the Turkish, let's tell our NATO allies, we're not only going to get rid of ISIS, we're also going to we're going to replace the Assad regime. Then you've got Kurds on the ground in Iraq. You've got Turkish troops on the ground in Syria. We can eliminate this threat, but most importantly, it starts with recognizing the problem. These are evil barbarians. These aren't folks that need jobs or better governance, as the State Department says. Right. Let's be honest. They're beheading, killing, torturing, crucifying Christians, religious minorities, Muslims, others. These are people, they burned a pilot alive. They have beheaded 21 Egyptian Coptic Christians, killed over 100 school children and teachers. They literally shot up editorialists because they don't like their cartoons. These are barbarians. And Muslim leaders, by the way, need to make it clear these individuals are not martyrs going to enjoy a reward in the afterlife. They're going straight to hell. And in the West, we need to insist, if you come into our country, we're going to insist you assimilate and integrate. No more hyphenated Americans. If you want to be an American, you should want to be an American. That's what we need to do. We can win this war, but the president needs to take it seriously. I've said he's disqualified himself to be commander-in-chief. The way he's approached this conflict, he refuses to say fundamental, he refuses to say radical Islamic terrorism. How can he beat the enemy when he won't even recognize what it is?
Governor of the sportsman's paradise of Louisiana. Good to see you, Governor Jindal. Thank you, sir.
Good to see you again. Thank you for being here, and thank you for fighting the good fight for our Second Amendment rights.